Hello, my friends. I'm Dr. Steve Nugent, and it's time for you to have a health reality check. I'm going to ask you a few questions before I give you some information about why you should consider dietary supplements in the 21st century. Do you eat a perfect diet? Probably not. Is your lifestyle stress-free? That's pretty unlikely. Are you immune to the effects of pollution and other stresses of the 21st century? I don't think so. Maybe we should talk about how we got to where we're at and why you should think about dietary supplements if you want to maintain proper health. Let's start with stress, farming, and pollution. Psychological stress can actually reduce your immune system's efficiency. And then, of course, there's pollution stress or environmental stress. Things are very different today than they were throughout the majority of human history. In fact, the age of synthetic chemistry began in around 1930. We now have tens of thousands of chemicals in our environment that did not exist on planet Earth before 1930. Many of these chemicals in the environment are known to cause free radical stress, and that, of course, can accelerate the aging process and be potentially harmful to your immune system as well. Well, what about farming? Some experts will tell you that the food farmed today is precisely the same as it was centuries ago. Other experts will argue that, well, no, the food's not as nutritious as it was when it was farmed the old-fashioned way. Rather than continuing the argument about farming, let's talk about some realities that we can quantify. So back in 1995, the U.S. Department of Agriculture decided to do a study. The purpose of the study was to find out if people had enough antioxidant nutrients in their blood from diet alone. And so what they did was a test called serum ORAC. Serum means blood, and ORAC stands for oxygen radical absorption capacity. And that is the capacity of anything to potentially block the harmful effects of free radicals. What they established was that the average person needed to eat between 5 and 7 servings of fresh fruits and vegetables daily to get enough antioxidant in their blood to cope with the amount of free radical stress in 1995. Of course, air pollution has been getting worse every year worldwide. And when they repeated the study, they found out that more servings of fruits and vegetables were necessary, until finally their last test was done in 2012. And in 2012, when they got up to 13 servings of fresh fruits and vegetables to cope with the air pollution in that year, well, they just said, forget it, we're not going to do this anymore. Why? Because most people are not going to eat 13 servings. In fact, most people aren't going to eat 5. With this in mind, you might think about some dietary supplements, but let me give you some more evidence. The Journal of the American Medical Association, one of the most respected medical journals in the world, published a study that tells a pretty big story. Now, these two doctors who involved, Fletcher and Fairfield, they decided to do a human study where they drew blood, and the question for their research was, do people get enough vitamin in their diet alone, not when taking supplements, just the food they eat? Well, here's what they found in their blood study. Most people do not consume an optimal amount of vitamins by diet alone. It appears prudent for all adults to take vitamin supplements. Well, there are a lot of Americans who think that way. In fact, 75% approximately of Americans take dietary supplements. If 75% of the population takes supplements in addition to diet, and we're told by many that the modern diet is just fine and provides you with everything you need, then logically, we probably shouldn't see very many people who are deficient in any nutrient, right? Well, in the United States, 90% of the population is deficient in at least one nutrient, and more than 70% of our population is deficient in a variety of nutrients. Let's take a look at why this might be. All of you know, of course, that if you drive your vehicle on a level road, you get the best gas mileage. And most of you know that if you drive your vehicle uphill, you have more strain on the engine, more strain on the parts, and you burn more fuel. So you will burn more fuel going 5 miles or 5 kilometers uphill than you will going 5 miles or 5 kilometers on a level road. More stress, more fuel, and more wear and tear on your parts. So I think it's safe to say that life in the 21st century is not the same as it was in previous centuries. There are new stresses to consider. So now you might say, what's the solution? What do I recommend? I recommend Mannatech. Mannatech is the most extraordinary company that I've seen in my, more than 40-year career. And Mannatech, as far as I'm concerned, is the science company. First of all, we have earned more than 140 patents. The majority of companies in our industry don't even have one. And we have 91 patents still active. Now, patents are good for 20 years and then they expire. We are constantly filing new patents. We have more patents pending right now. We also use trade secrets and exclusive agreements so that we can have certain ingredients that cannot be found in any other product by any other company. And we have a state-of-the-art analytical chemistry lab. It's this lab and the great scientific minds that have worked at this company that have allowed us to make new cutting-edge technologies. Some even call them disruptive technologies. I don't know of any company in this industry that has a lab even close to what we have. And in fact, the majority of the companies in our industry have no lab at all. They use what's called borrowed science. Another reason to choose Mannatech is our longevity. You may not know this, but the majority of the companies in the nutrition industry have very short lifespans. In fact, most of them don't stay in business more than 4 years. Mannatech has been in business more than a quarter of a century. That says a lot about our science, our technology, and our product loyalty. I know people who started taking our product more than 25 years ago and are still doing it today. Mannatech is the only company in this entire industry that can say that they pioneered a new field of science, the science of nutritional glycobiology. We are the glycan company. And we've done more with glycan technology and glycan products than any other company in this industry. The path to wellness begins with intelligent cellular communication, and that begins with glycans. 3 words describe Mannatech: science, safety, and efficacy. We use science to develop new technologies, to validate the safety of our products, and we use science to validate the efficacy of our products. So for all of you watching this right now, please talk with a person who gave you this video and find out how you can support your health in the 21st century with Mannatech products.